therefore brings their journey to an end. This for me resonates with what Yule says about him failing to die as was ordained. This for me suggests he is an exile of the Sable Church. We see later he is found dead, and Uriah speaks of his redemption. Redemption most likely from whatever had him exiled, possibly turning on his own kind, as the prophecy suggests.
Oh crap.
The way he finds redemption is by indenturing himself to us, and by drawing out our true potential. He does this by pulling out and increasing the power of the dark sigil. Its description reads, a black gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless pitch black hole, the gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. Yule clearly draws out whatever it is in humanity that makes them grow hollow and be cursed. By drawing it out, he specifically mentions the fact we are bearers of the dark sign. He draws out the very essence of the undead curse and marks us with the dark sigil. The hole is bottomless and extremely reminiscent of the abyss, the dark realm where light and bonfires have no power, but where humanity and the dark soul have power. This sigil allows us to hollow, something seen as a blessing by those of Londor, but seen as a curse by everyone else and in ages past. Once Yule has drawn out our true strength and allowed us to hollow, we find him dead, and in his place we find Uriah. She claims she is a friend of Yule, and she thanks us for giving him the chance to redeem himself in our service. In fact, Uriah is one of the sisters who founded the Sable Church. We can see from her ashes that having 3 founders of the Black Church ensured Uriah's legacy would survive. Her 2 sisters would carry the torch, making certain their lord claims the fire, for the sake of all the hollows. We can see, therefore, that Uriah is sister to Lilane, who is the youngest of the 3.
Oh.
We learn from Uriah's mask that she is the second eldest, for it states, attire of the 3 mentors of the Sable Church of Londor. This build mask belongs to Uriah, the second eldest.
Oh, I haven't seen the guy yet, have I?
A primordial serpent were renowned as founders of the Sable Church, which offered salvation for hollows.
Oh, is it not capturing?
We can therefore see that Uriah, Lilane, and the eldest sister were seen as mentors, and were renowned for being the founders of the church. We can also learn more of these sisters from the gauntlets of the outfit. It states, it is apparent that the women in black were highly skilled fencers, capable of founding the Sable Church between just the 3 of them. We therefore learn that these women are exceptionally skilled combatants, and that it should be no surprise that these 3 sisters were capable enough of founding the Black Church themselves. We gain further evidence from the Vow of Silence miracle, for this states, members of the Sable Church are all trained swordsmen, each sworn to only their weapons, as they bear the leaden silence of Londor. The miracle tells us that members of the church are skilled combatants, sworn only to their swords. Now, I may be reading this wrong, but it seems to suggest they don't espouse the use of miracles, but only weapons. This would make sense that considering miracles are usually associated with the tales of the old gods and the old order, which the Sable Church is diametrically opposed to, as well as the fact that the miracle actually prevents the use of miracles itself.
Simple.
In addition, the miracle tells us that they bear the leaden or heavy silence of Londor,
nice,
which again suggests a lack of tales and miracles. Uriah is a skilled combatant, and her choice weapon, Dark Drift, gives us even more of an insight into her prowess, for it states, a cursed sword with an unseen blade, the choice weapon of Uriah of Londor. Uriah, a mentor of the Sable Church, an accomplished swordswoman, is said to have claimed 100 lives with this weapon. These three sisters are a force to be reckoned with. They wield weapons like Dark Drift, and they have the ability to destroy their enemies, and they have the charisma to lead an entire movement of hollows through a religion, and using such tales as those told by the youngest sister. In addition, we know they make use of assassins, such as the Pale Shades of Londor. Their choice weapon is the Mannequin Claw, and its description tells us, choice weapon of the Pale Shades, assassins of the Sacred Church of Londor. The curved claws cause heavy bleeding. We can therefore see that these shades act as assassins for the Black Church. We get further insight from their mask, for it states, gold mask worn by those who kill in the name of the Sable Church of Londor. A faint, kindly smile is bound to its surface, giving them the moniker Harlots of Death. What lies beneath that expression, however, is nothing more than the face of a darkly shriveled hollow. Their armour states, attire worn by those who kill in the name of the Sable Church of Londor. The pale shades of the Sable Church are all undying hollows, giving rise to much fear and contempt. We can therefore see that these hollows were deadly and feared, because they were undying hollows who killed without honour and without mercy. No doubt these assassins carried out the bidding of the sisters, and were used to bring death to their enemies and anyone who fought in Londor. It also states that they had the moniker Harlots of Death. Now, harlot is a derogatory term for women, and if we take this alongside of the fact that the three ruling mentors of Londor are women, it suggests that Londor may be a matriarchal society. The three sisters are intelligent and they're deadly, and they have accomplished much between the three of them. But how? And why? The answer most likely lies with the description of Uria's black set that we looked at previously. It gives mention of the fact that they are maidens of a primordial serpent, and as anyone who's played the first two games know, the first one in particular, this is a huge lore drop. As is a Dark Souls 3 lore video, I want to refrain from going over ground that a lot will be familiar with, but I'll touch on the link here to give the discussion a little bit of context. In Dark Souls 1, we can meet two primordial serpents, ancient beings who have inscrutable ambitions. One, Kingseeker Frampt, claims to be a friend of Lord Gwyn, and encourages you to light the fire. You meet a second under certain conditions, in the emptiness of the abyss, a realm with no light, a realm where the first flame has no bearing. This serpent is Darkstalker Kath. He leads a group of knights who would become known as the Dark Wraiths, who he gave the ability to drain life and steal others' humanities. Again, I don't want to go too deeply into this, which I could, but for the sake of brevity, suffice it to say Kath wanted the Age of Light to end, believing that men and the undead are born of the dark, and that the Age of Dark is the next natural age. Without a doubt, Yuria and her sisters served Kath. If their idolization of the dark and rising up of hollows isn't enough to confirm this, then you can get solid confirmation if you kill Yuria. Her dying words are, Yuria and her sisters are servants of Kath, much like the Dark Wraiths were before them. And as always, you must suspect that Kath and his servants are trying to bring about the end of the Age of the Gods, having seen it gone on for too long unnaturally by the linking of the fire. The Dark Wraiths used the art of life through the artifact known as the Dark Hand.
I kill him?
This has now been bequeathed to those of Londor. Yuria can sell it to us, and its description states, weapon that allows its wielder to evoke an art unique to Londor, the land of the hollow. It is also said to be an ancient relic of a primordial serpent. The Dark Hand mercifully saps at the essence of its victims.
Alright, Jesus.
Kath has clearly chosen Londor as the successors of the Dark Wraiths, and his vehicle to bring about his ultimate aim. When we meet Yuria, Yol is dead, most likely killed by Yuria for failing to die. Yet she is thankful he found redemption in your service.
Right, this way.
She then asks,
that a lord art thou not, bearer of the dark sigil, and our lord of hollows,
Come on,
She
man.
immediately identifies us as a lord, and a lord of hollows, proclaiming her service. She calls us the rightful heir and liege of Londor, of hollows. She seems to speak for all of Londor when she says that she will follow you, and they will follow you, as Lord of the Hollows. She comments upon our intent to link the fire, but she asks us to play the usurper, and to take the flame from its mantle, so that we hollows, the most honest expression of men, may have it for our own. She tells us that the linking of the fire was instigated at the behest of the old gods, but the old gods are now long gone. This once again reflects Kath's view, that in the true nature of things, humanity is the dark, and Yuria goes so far as to state that hollows are the most true expression of men.
Alright.
Yuria will set us on the path to become the Lord of Hollows and usurp the fire. Unfortunately, it involves Anri and an old Londor tradition, for Yuria states,
Thou art like me, angry. She is hollow, and will join thee in wedlock.
tells us that Anri is a hollow, and that they, he or she, depending on your gender, will be our spouse. They await us in the dark moon tomb, for how can we become a true monarch without a spouse? She tells us that a fellow of hers has guided Anri to the tomb. In reality, Anri has been tricked. She tells us that a pilgrim has told her how to get to Earth, no likely leading her into the trap. We then find Anri in the church of Yorska. In the corner of this room is a disguised pilgrim, looking like a statue. The pilgrims clearly operate as agents of Londor outside its borders, maybe believing it is a chance to redeem themselves. However, Yo's fate should indicate otherwise. If we do not intervene by killing the fellow, this fellow will capture Anri and bring them to the Darkmoon Crypt. When we arrive, we are greeted by a pilgrim, most likely the same fellow who captured Anri. They pass us an item of Londor, a traditional item used for weddings of this kind. It is the Sword of Avowal. Its description states, ceremonial sword of Londor, cannot be equipped as a weapon. It is said that a rite of wedlock will presage a true hollow lord.
Excellent.
Your spouse's name is Anri, who patiently awaits a rightful lord deep within the mausoleum. When we go in to meet our betrothed, we find them lying on their back, ceremoniously, with their helmet removed.
Alright, here we go.
The ceremonial item given to us
I
is
am
used
going
in the
to
Londor rite
defeat
of wedlock, an event that is a precursor to
the
the birth
doggy.
of a true hollow lord. When we reach
Otaku
Anri, we perform
doggy.
the rite of avowal, and see that this
Papaya.
Londor rite is not a typical wedding at all. It is a rite that involves the sacrifice of one hollow, so that their
Nice.
dark sigil can be married to another, and thus creating a fully fledged Lord of Hollows. We see Anri's darkness seep into us, and thus our marriage is complete. When we leave the tomb, we find the pilgrim dead, and that shouldn't be too surprising at this stage. With our dark sigil combined with Anri's, Urias and Kath's patterns are in place. When we defeat the soul of Cinder, and the first flame stands before it,
Ah,
Uria's words ring in our ears. Wrest the flame from its mantle, so that we hollows may have it. We take the flame, and we collapse. It's unclear what happens next, but it's clear that the dark sigil clearly has something to do with it. When we
done.
awake,
Done. We
flame has
did
gone
it.
out, and it
We
is
done
dark.
finished it.
We see the dark sign in the sky has a
You're
darkened
already
hue,
dead.
no doubt reflecting the absence of the flame.
Yeah, it
We
was
also
awesome,
seem to have
guys.
some
Good job.
connection to this mark in the skies. We seem to rise it up as we rise. Yuria and her sisters and the Hollows of Londor greet us as their lords of Hollows, and they beg us to make Londor whole. It would seem to me that Kath and his maidens have succeeded in ending the Age of Light, if we choose this ending, and the power of the flame is now in the hands of the Hollows, ripped from its mantle forever. And now we represent the new Dark Lord
Oh,
in the Age of Dark.
damn it.
So thanks for that, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. the Sable Church of Londor is a really interesting one for me, but it's quite difficult for me to explain it coherently without taking a lot of my own conjecture. I did a little bit at the end there, and there's a lot of lore in it, but there's not a lot that kind of bridges it between each other. So I took a lot of steps, so feel free to. But I hope you enjoyed this, and please leave a comment, and I hope I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Let's do music. Get some music going on. Yeah, let's see how this vibes. Yep. Perfect. Come on, come at me. Ha. I have your timings down. Ah, shit. Ooh. Ooh. God, this is mean. Alright. Ha! Oh, nice. Too heavy for me, though, I bet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. No, man. Not what I do, man. Let's go.
I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their journey homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed. This fellow, it is the insignia if you think, and what is wrong? Are you not?
Yeah.